You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. Today's episode is about one of the most important decisions a board will ever make: how to choose the right insurance broker. We're headed to Abilene to see how a trustee named David moved past the generic sales pitch to find a true advocate. David sits in his church's quiet fellowship hall, looking at the same insurance folder he's been carrying for years. He's a trustee and he's weary. He's tired of the transactional nature of the market, where agents treat his church like just another line of business. David knows that even though the Texas church insurance market is calming down, he doesn't just need a policy. He needs a relationship built on transparency and expertise. David's search for the right partner began with a meeting with his current agent from a well-known national firm. He quickly realized he was working with a captive representative. For him, this is a major red flag. A captive agent is tethered to a single company. David realized he didn't want his options limited by one carrier's appetite. He needed a broker who could look at the entire landscape. That's what brought him to us. As an independent agency, we work for the church, not the insurance company. David learned that we start with questions, not quotes. We didn't throw a generic number over the fence. We started by getting to know the DNA of his church. We performed a deep dive risk assessment, looking at everything from child protection protocols to the maintenance of his fire equipment. David also desires to work with an agency that weathered the hard market. Over the last decade, many generalist agents walked away from Texas churches because the market was too difficult. Now that things are softening, those agents are reappearing, but they lack the deep expertise that comes from surviving the lean years. At Insurance for Texans, we leaned into the challenge and helped hundreds of churches to navigate the hard times. Another key part of David's selection process is access to A-rated carriers. He knows that his church deserves stable partners that stand by Texas churches and continue to do good business. Independent insurance agents have access to A-rated carriers. But David's biggest concern is claims. He'd had bad experiences with 1-800 numbers and being told he couldn't choose who repaired his building. We explained that our process includes a dedicated staff member to walk you through the claims process. Additionally, we also avoid managed repair programs that strip a church of its authority to choose its own contractors. We believe you should always have a say in who works on your sacred space. By the end of our conversation, David realized that a good broker isn't just a middleman. They are an advocate who views each church through the lens of stewardship. David looked around his quiet church and felt a sense of relief he hadn't felt in years. He stopped gambling with a general captive agent and started a relationship with a church insurance expert. If you're ready to find that same kind of peace and an advocate for your church, connect with our team at insurancefortexans.com. And to see the exact roadmap we use for Texas church insurance, get your free copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, your church deserves more than just a piece of paper. You deserve an agent who knows your Texas church.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.